it's Trish from the King's Roost. I know that you're used to seeing Rue for these videos. I'm on the other side of the camera, but today it's my turn because it's my job in the house to make the butter. I'm going to show you today how to make butter from scratch. It's so fun, it's so delicious, it's so easy. All you're going to need is a jar. We sell these in the store, which is like a special jar for making butter, but you can use any old jar, mason jar, baby food jar. And you're gonna need cream, whole milk, whole whipping cream. Okay, you can just buy any kind of cream you want, but the better the cream, the better the butter. You should let your cream sit out for like 6 to 8 hours. It's gonna work a lot better if it's room temperature. All right, now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take the cream, pour it in the jar. Don't fill it more than like 1/3 to 1/2 full because you need to leave plenty of time, plenty of space for the cream to concuss and turn into butter. All right, so in these little things that we sell in the store, you start with about 1 cup of cream, and it's gonna make about 1/2 cup of butter. So get it in the jar, tighten it real tight, and here's where it starts. You shake. It's like a shake weight, except that you get something way better at the end of it. You get butter. So you're gonna shake. Shake, and shake, and shake. Now, one thing you can do, put on some music. Done about 3 minutes of really hardcore shaking, and I can tell we're ready to move on because I can feel that there's pretty much no space in here for the butter to go anymore. It's full of air and it's taking up this whole jar, which means it's time to strain it. Here is how you do that. Get a jar or a cup, and if you have one of these butter makers, it's very easy because it has a strainer right on the top. But you can also, if you're using a regular old jar, just put a little strainer on top of your container and pour off the liquid. This liquid is buttermilk. It's not cultured like the buttermilk you usually buy in the store, but it is indeed buttermilk, and you can use it in all your baking recipes: cookies, muffins, biscuits, waffles. So save this buttermilk for sure. Put a lid on it, stick it in the fridge. It's delicious. And try to get as much of it out of this butter as you can. Whatever buttermilk that you leave in the butter is just going to make the butter go bad more quickly. So for shelf life reasons, just get as much of it off as you can. And because the buttermilk does affect how long it stays fresh, we're now going to get even more buttermilk out by rinsing the butter. Add a little bit of cold water, about the same amount as what you just poured off in buttermilk. And start shaking again. The longer you shake, the more buttermilk you're going to pull out of that butter, so I recommend another 2 or 3 good minutes. Turn it a while again, this time with water, rinse the butter, and we're going to just let the water run off into the sink. I can see that it's really pretty cloudy. You're going to have to repeat this process one more time probably, because you want to do it until that water runs pretty clear, which means you've really gotten all of the buttermilk out of there. So, put the strainer cap back on, open up the lid, fill it with water. Well, don't fill it with water. Put about 2 ounces of water back in there. Turn on your music and shake, my friend. Our second rinse and shake of this butter, and it should run pretty clear now, the water. Yeah, you can see this water's pretty clear, which means we got really pretty much all the buttermilk out of the butter. You want to just kind of shake it, get all that water out. Again, if you get all the buttermilk out of here, you will have butter that will last at least a week in the fridge. And now is the time that you can actually start to think about all the fun things you can do to flavor your butter. One of the things actually that also keeps it fresh longer is adding some salt. A little salt goes kind of a long way with butter, so you're not going to need a ton. scoop it out of here, put it in like a little butter bell or a little ramekin. You can even use the bottom of this jar as a little ramekin. Stick it in there, add a pinch of salt, and then you can do whatever you want with that. You can add maple syrup, you can add honey, you can add cloves, garlic, chives, basil, mint. Look at that beautiful texture of that butter. Now as it sets, you're going to notice some water and maybe even a little buttermilk are going to form on the top over the next few hours. Just pour that off as it forms. Put it in there. Keep it in your fridge. Already we're getting a little water. And you have butter. So we're actually about to try the butter we just made on Daddy's fresh made cornbread made from last week's buttermilk. So how is it?